Thank you, Sri, for the introduction. And I would like to welcome everyone for this short presentation. Before I continue, I wanted to make some quick announcements. You were given the feedback form, so feel free to return it at the back when you go. There are 5 entries made for the lucky winners so that you can get a free VIP pass for the 2017 Affiliate Summit East networking event. So make sure that you return the form to the people over there. And before I continue, I wanted to make it quick. So at the end of the presentation, you're welcome to ask any questions, but when you're asking questions, please stand in front of the mic and raise the questions so that everybody can hear. So let me continue. And as Sri mentioned, I am the co-founder and the president of Chargeback Gurus. And today we wanted to talk about how can you profit from running your own offer as an advertiser. There are a lot of publishers here who want to actually run their own offers and make more money. So today we wanted to talk about what does it take to become an advertiser, what is it you need to look for, and what kind of money are we talking about when you become your own advertiser. So I'm going to make a few references as well. And before I continue, I wanted to ask you, how many of you here are publishers? Great. How many are advertisers here? Awesome. How many are planning on becoming an advertiser? Wonderful. So let's actually continue. We are going to actually talk about 3 topics here. One, what are all the pros and cons of becoming an advertiser or a publisher? So we wanted to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages. Then I want to make an ROI comparison on what kind of revenue can you look at when you're a publisher or if you're an advertiser, so what does it take? And the third one is, which is very crucial, is what to look for when you're an advertiser, because this is a very crucial component. In order for you to actually have a good ROI being an advertiser, you also need to know what to look for. So I believe these 3 aspects today will give you a better picture of where you are and what you want to do in the future. The first slide, we wanted to talk about the benefits of publishers. So what are some of the advantages of being a publisher? There is a very low risk entry being a publisher. So the investment that you need to become your own publisher is very less. All you need to do is have your laptop, have internet marketing experience, and you are on your way to sell the product. You can be your own boss, set your own timing. So you don't work for anybody, you don't report to anybody other than generating sales for advertisers. This is a single department that you have to manage. All you are focusing on being a publisher is marketing somebody else's product. So you don't have any overhead, you don't have too many departments to manage. So you're pretty much your own boss and you have better control of what you do. And also it gives you the flexibility of switching between multiple products. So today you want to sell a health and beauty product. All of a sudden you see that somebody is selling actually a hair care product. And you want to actually promote it because it's hot product in the market, so you can switch between multiple verticals or different products. There is nobody to stop you. So it's all based on your convenience and what you see is going to be the best fit for your marketing efforts. So you have the flexibility of switching between multiple products. And also you make money faster because the day you generate the sale, within a week you get paid by the advertisers because they pay you for every sale you generate. So whether the customer stays with them or whether the customer is filing for a refund doesn't matter. You as a publisher get paid the moment you generate sales for the advertiser. So this is one of the fast ways of making money. And also, the perks is you get well treated by the advertisers and the publishing networks because you are the king. If you are able to generate sales, they love you to the core. And if you are an ethical publisher bringing in great traffic to them, they're going to wine and dine you. So this is a great place, great industry to be as a publisher. But also it comes with its own disadvantages. And let's look at what they are. So the first one is actually your business sleeps when you sleep. Unfortunately, because you're a one-man show. You go on a vacation, you have to do something, you get sick, there is nobody to take control of your business, so your business pretty much stops when you are actually a one-man show. And also it's a limited income potential because you have only 10 hours a day or maybe 12 hours a day if you are hardworking like me, and your income potential is limited. So you can only generate so many orders. As a result, your income potential is greatly limited. Also, it's a variable revenue stream because your sales can go up and down, and your revenue is also going to go up and down. So there is no fixed income here. That can be actually, pretty scary for a lot of people because they want a fixed income. So if you're a publisher, it also actually has this disadvantages that your revenue stream is going to be, varying. And also keeping up with other publishers and trends, because as you get into the market and you see other publishers trying to do the same thing, one of the difficulties you face is your marketing cost goes high. So you're trying to keep up with other publishers. As a result, your revenue stream is going to be very low. So you always have to be on the edge of your seat, trying to watch what others do, trying to watch your marketing cost, and trying to actually keep up with your CPA. So that can be one of the disadvantages when you're a publisher. And also, you're playing by the rules of the publisher and the advertiser, because the publisher network and the advertiser wants you to advertise in a certain way. You cannot have random endorsements. You cannot have testimonials that was not authorized. So you got to play by their rules. You got to be extremely careful when you're marketing other product, or else they're going to take you out of their network. So you got to be very careful when you're marketing others' product. Let's actually move on to the next one, where I wanted to talk about what are all some of the advantages of actually being an advertiser. There is a large income potential, because now somebody is selling your product. You can have a lot of people selling your product. As a result, your income potential is a lot. You can actually manage your own traffic. You can manage your own fraud and chargeback rules. So nobody can actually say anything about it. If you want to accept traffic from particular publishers, you want to accept traffic from a particular network, you set the rules because you're paying them. So you can pretty much control your traffic. And also, you can hire publishers to work for you. Rather than you doing all the work, you can hire publishers who are hungry for generating sales, and they can actually help you generate more customers. You are making money while you're sleeping, which is what I love. Everybody wants to make money while you're sleeping, so this is a great way for you to make money while you're sleeping, because your business will never sleep, even if you're sleeping, because you have others working for you. Status upgrade. You are moving from an individual mindset to an entrepreneur mindset, which is great because you deal with a different level of people. You deal with a higher class people in the entrepreneur network. And it gives a kind of accomplishment when you are actually being your own advertiser, because you're running a company right now. And as I mentioned, yes, sense of accomplishment, that's a great. So I have seen a lot of advertisers pride in what they are doing, because not only they have generated a lot of jobs, they have also created something for the society which is in demand. So it creates a greater accomplishment for you. Also, the advertiser, actually being an advertiser, comes with its own disadvantages, and let's look at it. So you need to actually have an entrepreneur mindset. This is where actually several of the publishers fail to be a successful entrepreneur. You are moving from an individual to a team member mindset. When you are an entrepreneur, you have to know how to work with people. You're going to work with different people, your employees, your vendors, your contractors. So you need to be mentally prepared to be a great entrepreneur, because when you are on the leadership scale, you need to know how to empower them, how to motivate them, how to encourage your team members to run the team successfully, because now you're relying on their support as well. So you need to be an entrepreneur to know how to work with people. And also, having limited knowledge about the industry can be a big drawback for you. You are actually getting into a health and beauty business, or any business actually, and you don't know the pros and cons of that industry. If you have very limited knowledge, the chances are you're going to lose a lot of money, because you won't have any room to make mistakes. Because this industry is getting very strict, especially the payment side. So you cannot afford to make mistakes. So you need to make sure you do your due diligence, understand every layer of your business, see what complexity is involved, and decide if this is right for you or not. Long hours and sleepless nights. Yes, this is something I have faced, several people have faced when you run the company. So when you are new to an industry, when you are an entrepreneur, you're trying to do everything by yourself. As a result, you might have to spend more hours than what you're used to. But again, the rewards are great, so don't get discouraged by that. Getting the right resources. As I always say, you might have the vision, but having the right resources is going to make your vision come true. If your vision is strong, but you don't have the right resources, the vision just becomes a dream. So there is a difference between a dream and reality, and that's going to greatly help you by having the right resources. Analyze your various departments. So you will be working across various departments. So you need to know how to monitor these people, how to ensure they are productive, they are doing the right things, and they are not affecting your business. So you need to know all these things before you become an entrepreneur. Chargebacks and frauds are a major components, because that can affect your cash flow. It can also affect your business if you don't know what you're doing. So you need to have better control about chargebacks. You need to learn what they are and what kind of impact they can have on your business. merchant account risk and cash flow. This has become a major challenge in the industry right now because there are way too many advertisers coming into the industry, not realizing what kind of impact it can have on them and others if they don't manage a good traffic. Because they have a lot of bad traffic, they don't control their chargebacks. As a result, their merchant accounts are closed and they lose their business. It's like insurance. If there are a lot of people creating accidents in the Los Angeles area, no matter if you're a good driver, your premium is going to go high because they're going to value you based on where you live. It's the same way it works. If there are a lot of advertisers shutting down their business because they couldn't manage their company, even though you might be a good advertiser, you're going to pay a premium for it. So you need to be very careful in managing your merchant accounts. Now, the next slide, I wanted to talk about what are all the different departments that's going to control your profitability. It is very, very important to know what departments you'll be managing. The first one is actually sales and marketing. The second one is payments. The third one is customer service. The fourth one is fulfillment. The fifth one is chargeback recovery and prevention. Sixth is manufacturing. And the seventh one is CRM and IT. Now, I have listed this based on the risk level. The top level it is, the riskier it is. And as in when you proceed low, the risk is also low. So that's how it has been listed. And let's look at actually what are all the challenges that can happen in these different departments. First, I wanted to focus on sales. So let's talk about sales. So what can go wrong in sales? Forecasting can be a big challenge for a lot of advertisers because you want to grow too quick, too soon. As a result, you actually end up losing your company. You don't know how to manage the orders. You don't know how to manage your customers. So that can create a lot of challenges for you. So you need to be very careful. Now, you might have a lot of publishers who want to sell your product, but the due diligence lies on your table. If an advertiser is selling, if your publisher is selling a product and they are actually having celebrity endorsements, but your product doesn't really have a celebrity endorsement, FTC can come after you. And you are responsible for it. So when you hire publishers, make sure they clearly understand what you want them to do and what you don't want them to do. And also, I would recommend reviewing their marketing materials so that you know what they are going to use to promote your product. You don't want to set the expectations too high by accepting anything and everything they are going to do online. So you've got to be very careful, do your due diligence, and make sure your products and your company are represented in the right manner so that your customers have a very real expectation about the product benefits. Let's talk about the next one, which is the payments and merchant accounts. This is very crucial. The payments is called the lifeline of your business because every single money that's coming in, is it going to help you actually grow your business? So initially, when you're getting merchant accounts, I would request you to be very thoroughly review the agreements because some of the agreements can have a very high fee and that can be very expensive for you. You might be thinking 1% and 2% is not going to have a significant effect, but if you run your company properly and over the period of time, if you are processing about $1 million every month, that 1% can make you lose even $10,000 to $20,000 a month. So it is very important that actually you control who you are signing up with. Make sure you're signing up with ethical agents who can actually give you the lowest fee. And also in this industry, you can negotiate any number. Don't feel shy to negotiate because if you're an entrepreneur, one thing you need to learn is to negotiate. So there is no sin in negotiating. The worst thing they can say is no, but it's good to ask because most of the time you'll be surprised. They are willing to even reduce the fee by up to 50% because you have asked. So every vendor you work with, keep in mind you have the opportunity to negotiate the price. And also actually, when you're working with merchant accounts, keep track of your money coming in. Most of the time, advertisers think, oh, I work with a processor, I'm expecting them to actually release all the money, but they don't. Sometimes they make mistakes when they are depositing the money to your account. So it is your responsibility to track all your payments every day and also keep track of your reserve. Because in the high-risk space, there is always a 6-month rolling reserve. So when it is time for them to release the funds, they don't release it automatically. They expect you as a merchant to call them, let them know that it's time for you to release the funds, and they will release it. So be proactive, watch your cash flow, because this is absolutely crucial. Let's look at the third one, which is the customer service. When I'm actually talking about customer service, there are 3 things I would always watch for. When you have customer service contractors, make sure you go for onshore. I've always been asked, why can't I go offshore? Because the cost is less. But you know what? You might be saving money up front, but because of accent issues, because of customer service etiquette, I have seen people losing a lot of money due to chargebacks. So you don't want to save money on a customer service and lose money on a chargeback, which could be very costly for you. So be very watchful on it. And also watch the call hold time, because if the customer service is having a high hold time of 5 minutes or more, the chances are the customers are going to file a dispute. So we don't want that. So you need to be very vigilant about the hold times as well. And the most important is the billing. There are a few call centers out there who will actually bill you on a per minute rate, which is fine. But what bothers me is the round-off billing, because they will have actually a 1 minute or a 2 minute round-off billing, which is going to simply add up your costs. So you got to be watchful about it and try to negotiate so that there is no round-off billing. So those are the 3 areas I'll watch for on the customer service side. Let's actually look at the other areas here. The fulfillment side, of course. So when it comes to fulfillment, make sure that the fulfillment company is shipping the products within 24 hours. They have tracking numbers on all the orders. And also watch for the fulfillment cost, because you don't want to pay for their errors. So you need to watch how many errors they're making and ask them for a refund when you're working with a fulfillment company. The next one is chargeback recovery and prevention. So when you work with a chargeback management company, make sure they are from the payment industry. There are a lot of chargeback companies out there who are not from the payment industry, and they have very limited knowledge about how the payment system works. So you need to work with somebody who knows how to recover your money, who can also help you reducing your chargebacks, and most important, actually use a semi-automated model rather than an automated system. There are a few companies who have a fully automated chargeback model, but it will never help you because of the challenges we have seen in the industry. So be very vigilant about who you work with. The last division I want to talk about is manufacturing. So do not work with vendors who offer low price. Work with vendors who follow the FTC and FDA standard when they are actually manufacturing a product. Make sure the products are sourced from the US, and also get references from other advertisers who have used other manufacturing companies, because manufacturing can also affect your cash flow. If you don't have a good product, you cannot expect your customers to buy your product over and over. So they might actually file a dispute or they might return it. So when you are actually thinking about a product line, make sure you have a good product which has got QA procedures and which has been manufactured and sourced in the US. So those are the 3 areas I will look at on the manufacturing. Now here is a simple revenue comparison I wanted to do. I wanted to thank one of our advertisers for sharing this data. If you are a publisher, assuming that actually you generate 200 orders a day, what could be the revenue potential for you? You might be making an annual revenue of about $400,000. That is the average figure we have seen on a good publisher who has got his things under control. If you are an advertiser, you are using other publishers or your own network to generate a product, assuming that you have 200 or 250 orders a day, your annual revenue could be 2.3 million. Now, this is just 200 orders a day with this using your own network. But if you are tapping into other publishers who can help you generate sales, which normally happens because they are willing to help you and you pay them for the sale, your revenue could actually go exponentially high. I have seen advertisers we have been working very closely with generate 1,000 orders a day. They make like 15 to 20 million profit a month. So if you look at the revenue comparison, of course, there is a very clear indicator that being an advertiser puts you in a better position, but also it comes with its own challenges. And if you know what the challenges are, if you know how to maintain them, you are in your path to becoming a successful advertiser. Now, how do we get started? So now we have heard about the pros and cons on both ends, and you know what it's going to take to become a publisher and advertiser. Where do you get started? One of the best ways to know is actually talk to the top advertisers to learn the business. For example, if you want to be on a health and beauty space, talk to them, see what are all the challenges they face. Get to know who are the vendors they are working with. And also when you're selecting a merchant account service provider, work with an ethical and honest agent who can help you and truly work for you. And also be very vigilant about the manufacturers and vendors you work with. Because they are a vendor, don't expect them to work at an optimum level. Be on top of it. Make sure they do the job that they are hired for. So you got to be very vigilant. And also you can work with few companies who can help you from start to finish. You know, like us, there are companies that can help you from every step of the way, selecting the vendors, scaping, forecasting, planning for disaster. So they can help you on all the steps involved on the 7 areas, and you can be in your path of success. And also watch your 7 departments. I always tell advertisers that don't react based on emotion, react based on numbers, because numbers never lie. So when you actually work in the affiliate space, you need to have your analytics and numbers in a row. Every department has got a number, and you need to make sure those numbers are making sense. Because if you don't watch your numbers and simply focus too much on bringing in sales, it doesn't make sense. So I would be very careful looking at every single department to see if they are making a profit for you or not. And also, be vigilant about your campaign performance. When you are buying traffic and sales from others, see if it is an ethical traffic, there is no fraud involved, and pretty much control your traffic, and that's the best way for you to be successful. Thank you very much for listening to the presentation. I'll take questions if you guys have any. Any questions? Would you like to come up to the, yes.
Profitability you you showed for the advertiser. Is that supposed to represent the standard trial advertising?
Well, as I mentioned to you, it is based on a successful advertiser's report. There was an advertiser we work with, and they were happy to share their data with everybody. So we got the data.
In your own, you've seen that personally?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that personally?
What do you mean? You're asking if I have seen that personally?
Yeah, in your own business or someone?
Not in my business. Directly? This is one of the advertisers who we work with and helping them on all the departments, and this is the profitability they have seen last year. Okay. This is based on about 250 to 300 orders a day, and all other expenses included there. That's the net revenue they have seen at the end of the year.
And the publisher side?
The publisher side, yes. We work with a couple of publishers that we know, and that's the data we got from them as well. So they use Facebook to do marketing. This is a health and beauty case. So we know a publisher actually who has shared his data, and that's how we derived the numbers here.
I've seen very different analytics on both, so that's why I asked.
Okay. Well, it goes by industry. It goes by individual too. So the numbers are not same across multiple industries. So everybody has a different way of running the business and controlling their cost. Some of them do their own manufacturing. Some of them do their own fulfillment to control the cost. So the numbers are going to vary when you're using a third party to generate, third party vendors to do the service rather than you doing it in-house. So the numbers are going to vary depending on which industry you're in. Any other questions? Cool. Thank you so much for attending the presentation. Feel free to return your feedback form to the lady at the back, and thank you very much.